In our last video, we were in Buffalo, New York. We checked out the historic district of Allentown. We made sure to check out the neighborhoods, including this very eclectic one. Next day, we checked out the downtown, including some of the government buildings and historic landmarks. And on the final day, we checked out the waterfront, or ice front. In this video,
we're in Gainesville, Florida.
For context, we visited Gainesville in mid-February of 2025. Alright, so today we're in Gainesville, Florida. It's Valentine's Day, so beautiful February day. It's our first time here, which is a little embarrassing because we have a travel channel. We're only about 2 hours from here. But since we've never been here before, you're gonna come along with us and see it through our eyes for the first time. So there's Main Street there, so we assume the downtown is just that way. First, we're gonna explore this pretty kick-ass little park here, and then we'll take you downtown. Enjoy! Not sure if this is there all year or because Valentine's Day is the next day, but pretty cool. Gainesville, of course, is the home of the University of Florida Gators. So we figured the first thing we would do, since we had water all around us, is see if we could actually find one. And yes, almost immediately, we found a gator.
So we started here in Depot Park, which is a 32-acre park completed in 2016. It hosts special events, festivals, performances, and 5K runs. The park is also home to the Cade Museum, which is a museum for creativity and invention, which opened in 2018. And as you can see, this was the site of the original train depot. The building was renovated in 2012 and now houses a restaurant.
So at this point, we've left the park and now we're working our way down Main Street. Game plan? Well, really isn't one. If you've watched our videos, you know we just sort of take off and go down the side streets and chase anything that looks cool.
So a little about the history of Gainesville, Florida. It was incorporated in 1869. It currently has a population of about 145,000 with a metro area of 350,000. As Jeff mentioned, it's the home to the University of Florida, which has the 4th largest public university campus enrollment in the United States. This very cool building straight ahead is the Hippodrome State Theater. The building was completed in 1911 and housed the U.S. Post Office and the courthouse. In 1973, it became a professional theater founded by local actors. The theater consists of a main stage theater on the 2nd floor and a cinema space on the 1st floor, and it has one of Florida's oldest working elevators, which is hand-operated.
And the buildings we're seeing here all form a horseshoe around the theater. Here you see some interesting street art. For those of you that enjoy that sort of thing, we'll have a section towards the end of the video that focuses on all the street art. So after that brief detour on the side street to check out the theater, we are now back on Main Street. So for those that are curious, downtown is about 2, maybe 2.5 miles away from the campus of the University of Florida. So what I'm saying is, if you're looking for a video on the university, this isn't the video for you. This focuses entirely on the historic downtown. Although that's something we could certainly entertain for a future video.
Here we are at the county courthouse. This building was built in 1958. However, you'll see a historical marker for the original courthouse, which was built in 1856.
So basically what we're doing, which is what we always do, is we're walking up and down Main Street. We're going to do both sides so you can see it from both perspectives, and then we chase side streets anytime there's a building or something that's of interest to us.
This building was built in 1908 as a Masonic lodge. It is now a wedding venue. So from the park, we headed down Main Street, and I think we're kind of at the end of this area, so we're gonna head back and weave in and out to catch everything else we missed downtown.
So here you get a brief look at one of the nearby neighborhoods. If that's your thing, hold tight, because later in the video we'll explore a historic neighborhood as well.
Here is the Siegel Building, which is a historic building undergoing renovation to become luxury apartments. This is the downtown campus of Santa Fe College. It's technically referred to as a 2-year public college, which was started in 1965, but it does offer 9 different bachelor's degrees.
Had we chose to keep going in this direction, we would have shortly landed at the university, but as I said earlier, this is about the downtown, so we decided this would be a good place to circle back.
And now we're on University Avenue, headed back towards Main Street and downtown. And here you see the historic Florida Theater. While not currently open, it is under renovation and it aims to be reopened by 2028.
Yeah, it's really great to see Gainesville trying to revitalize this downtown with the renovations of the theater and the Siegel building. So here's a fun fact, which is probably a little obvious, but the drink Gatorade was actually formulated at the university right here in Gainesville.
And another Gainesville fun fact is that it was originally known as Mule Camp Springs back in the 1800s.
We're always preaching to look in the alleyways, but don't forget to look down. Sometimes you find cool things there too. One thing we both enjoyed about Gainesville, in the downtown you won't find a lot of chains. Most of the restaurants and retail outlets are local.
We are now approaching Bo Diddley Plaza. It was renamed in 2008 to honor the blues and rock guitarist Bo Diddley, who lived just outside of Gainesville. It's a site of concerts and other events.
And of course, Bo is not Gainesville's only famous musician. You may have heard of a guy called Tom Petty. All right, so we stumbled on this historic neighborhood. Apparently it's called the Duck Pond neighborhood. Wasn't on our itinerary, although we had no itinerary at all because we've never been here, but we just thought we'd show you just a sample of some of the houses in this really cool historic neighborhood.
So the Duck Pond District is one of Gainesville's oldest neighborhoods, going back to 1854. And speaking of Tom Petty, apparently he grew up in Duck Pond.
Yeah, this was a really great neighborhood, and I'm very glad we stumbled upon it.
Roper Park was the site of the barracks and grounds for East Florida Seminary, which was the area's first institute of higher education. This clock tower was built and installed in the courthouse at this location in 1885. Unfortunately, the original courthouse was demolished in the 1960s. Interestingly, this clock must be wound every 7 days.
And there you see in the distance another view of that fantastic theater. So as promised, we're going to show you some of the street art, and then we'll be back to wrap this video up. All right, what'd you think of downtown Gainesville?
I really liked it. Now, we didn't spend our time at the campus. We stayed right in downtown, but what a gem. And this theater is really at the heart of it.
Yeah, hands down, favorite building. You know, Gainesville's a college town, and it has that vibe, that feel, which is great. I like college towns. Smaller than I would have guessed, but I actually enjoyed it, so give it a thumbs up.
Me too.
All right, get off the couch, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.